specialize in the education and entertainment of 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 entertainment. Candy and the sun. Could you make me a woman? Showtime. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run daggers for you, daggers for you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run go pop 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 some neurons. I know you're used to Lucy, din such a shunt, it tastes good, such a shunt. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run surprise. Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop doesn't mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop. Just a little bit of nicotine. The sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Cream in your sugar now. Little bit of nicotine doesn't mean that they don't love you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run daggers for you. When I'm in charge, daggers for you. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run go pop 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 some neurons. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run such a shunt, such a shunt. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run hip hop, bebop. Dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop doesn't mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop. Dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop. Bum 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 bum. Just a little bit of nicotine. The sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Cream in your sugar now. Little bit of nicotine. Din doesn't mean that they don't love you. Entertainment of entertainment of entertainment. When I'm in charge. Don't fuss with me. It tastes good. It tastes good. Pump 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 pump. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run such a shunt, such a shunt. I'm in charge. I know you're used to Lucy, but I run. Birthday dad? Yeah. Hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop, mean that they don't love. Hip hop, bebop, bop bop bop, dance till you drop. Hip hop, bebop, candy in the sun. Just a little bit of nicotine. Just a little bit of nicotine. Cream in your sugar now. Little bit of nicotine doesn't mean that they don't love you. Well, that's all for today. Bye bye.
Well, hello and welcome to another Darachat. I saw you smiling in the background. Welcome to another Darachat. My name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short, because some people still say Daramouthe, and I'm like, it's a silent E at the end. There's an E right there. Don't. Anyway, I'd like to welcome on. Now, I originally did say Pizza John, but that's kind of a misnomer because that's a little too close to Papa John, so we're gonna have to stay away from that. But anyway, welcome, good sir. How are you today?
I am fantastic. And I got to say, that intro is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I need to show that to everybody that I know. I didn't realize Mrs. Doubtfire could be so like musically beautiful. It was fantastic. I love that. Did you put that all together yourself?
No. So you saw at the end credit point there?
Yeah.
That's the artist, Pogo.
Oh man, well that is something. I gotta tell you, I love it. It's something else. Very cool.
You can find a whole of his bunch of other stuff on YouTube. And the funny thing is, he doesn't copyright strike. So I get content.
Cool.
I get content ID, but that doesn't affect my YouTube channel. But his stuff, his musical stuff, Crowder uses it. So,
well, that's cool that he does that. I'm a big fan of. I'm like I don't have any problem with people using my art or my whatever, however they want to use it, as long as I get credit. I don't care. That's how I look at it.
He did say not. I think it was mentioned. There was someone had uploaded like an old Twitch archive stream they did a long time ago. He hasn't done anything for like 2 years or so.
Wow.
He was
Impressive.
uploaded, and in it he said, as long as it's not malicious or something like that, something that way, because you did make the point of saying that, it's probably one of the ways of getting out there, right? So that's why copyright strike. But no, I have a whole plethora of all, a majority of his stuff, music video wise, that you use.
Wow. Well, thanks for introducing me to that, because I loved that. That was fantastic. I loved it.
POGO on YouTube. All this stuff is there.
I'm there, dude. Thank you. And thanks for having me. I'm really I'm happy to be here. This will be fun.
Yeah. No, I was glad to get you on because I know your schedule is kind of tight. So to everyone who's watching, he does have to leave within an hour's time, so we won't have too long. Yeah. But I hope we'll be able to have to do it again because you are, well, I guess you are food artistry. What do they call that? Artistically a foodie, something like that. It just feels like you're more artistic with food.
Food artist is fine with me.
Artist,
if you say culinary artist, people get confused. They'll just think I'm a regular old chef. So if you say food artist, then people start to. I play with my food. Basically, is what I do. The thing that we're all told not to do.
True.
When we're 5. I do that. That's what I do, and I've been doing it for 9 years now, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. It's been that long, but
yeah. No, and I because it's in your bio, all that stuff, and I was like, 9 years, that's a long time to be doing something, playing with your food at least. But but it's better than a food fight. It's a little different.
Indeed, yes.
But yeah, because again, the thing is I've been, I can't remember who it was. I think it was like Lumpy or something in a post. You were kind of Lumpy, but you've kind of just sort of done your own thing on Rumble. You've kind of given your reason why you're on Rumble, but you've done like celebrities. You've done, I think you did like what was it, SpongeBob one once? I'm just based on memory.
Yeah, I did SpongeBob. I did the SpongeBob I actually did years ago, and someone recently ordered one. So so for people that don't know, like I make these artistic pizzas. They're totally 100% edible. Like I don't use any props or anything. It's all pizza toppings. And so people actually order these locally where here in Rhode Island, at my family's bakery, they order them if they're local, and I make them and they pick them up and eat them and stuff. So someone ordered one of these SpongeBob pizzas recently, and so I was able to make it again. And every time I have another opportunity to make something that I had made previously, I try to, I try to maybe improve it a little bit or do something a little differently. So I did do that one recently. But yeah, I've done tons of celebrities, and if I'm lucky, they get to see it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
React to it, even if it's just online. That's really cool. Like that's the coolest thing ever. And then recently, I got to actually present Hulk Hogan with his pizza, which was just mind-blowingly amazing experience for me. So that was definitely a highlight for me. And I like I built a new intro for my stream actually this week. I'll be debuting it this weekend, and that's definitely in there because it was just so cool.
Oh no, I saw it too. Did he do like his whole brother things? Like, hey brother, thanks for the pizza.
Yeah. So this is really interesting. So he's a extremely unassuming guy. Like aside from his size, his volume is like really low. Like he talks kind of like this. Like he's very, very soft spoken. So like the whole time he's talking, he's like, hey brother. He's like very, very soft. Like you can barely hear him in the bar. And then at some point I was talking to somebody else. We're all like in sort of like a back room, like a green room type area. And there was a local media guy there, and he must have asked him like, hey, can you do a promo for the news or whatever? So all of a sudden he like launches into like Hulk Hogan promo mode, like wrestler mode. And it was like he went from a 2 to like a 13 in terms of volume, intensity. And it like scared me. I jumped. I was like, whoa, like what the hell? It's like someone just starts like screaming in the in the middle of the ring. And he was like full blown Hulk Hogan. And then when he was done, he was like back to like, so he definitely has like 2 modes.
Yeah.
He's like an old surfer dude. That's like the best way
Really?
to like describe him. Yeah, he's like an old, mellow. You could see him sitting on the beach, just like tossing back a cold one, just
Hmm.
like chilling out. Like that's his
Hmm.
vibe. To like, which is surprising, given his persona.
So the question is, did you get to see him meet his face?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I told him he could. I didn't. It was so he. I think he was a little worried about his because he had to go out and do like a performance for this beer tour he's
Oh.
doing. So like
Oh.
I had him try some of our like famous Rhode Island pizza strips, which is like if you're not in Rhode Island, you don't really know what they are, but
Right.
it's a big thing in Rhode Island. It's like a Rhode
Mm,
Island food
mm,
food item, and I got him to try it because I thought that'd be really cool.
mm.
And he was very, very concerned that like he needed a napkin. Like after he had it, he was afraid he
Oh.
had sauce on his mustache. So he
Yeah.
kept asking for a napkin and a napkin. So I was like, I'm not gonna keep pushing food on this guy because
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
clearly he's very concerned about you know being a good performer, and he doesn't want sauce on his mustache when he's about to go out in front of a couple hundred people or whatever, whoever was at the bar or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, so no, I didn't get to see him eat his face. But I told him he could, which was cool. So
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. No, but no, that was pretty awesome. And so you're out in Island, is what you're saying. You're out
yeah,
because I'm in Indiana, so that's
very
that's
cool.
quite a distance.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I know that there were pictures of like a newspaper article and all this, and that, of course, the recent one was a news section. Like you were on TV for a period of time, and I thought that was pretty interesting because you are your. I mean, I don't know if it happened before, because again, you've been doing this since like 2015, so I don't know if it's happened, before this point, but it seems like, Rumble was the right move for you because it seems like you're getting this more notice. And of course, I don't know how big Rhode Island is people wise, but I don't think it's like
It's
millions of
yeah.
people.
It's no, I think we're just over like 1 million people in the whole
Oh,
state.
really?
Yeah, it's a pretty densely populated state, but it's
Mm,
tiny.
right.
It's the smallest state. So it's but like I think we have more people than a few states. Like I think we have more people than Wyoming. I think we have
Mm,
more people than Alaska. I think like there's a few states where we have actually more people because it's just very densely populated. But
right.
in terms of the media stuff, I started doing this stuff in 2015.
Mm,
Very basic stuff, just like American flags. I did a Patriots logo, like really
mm,
basic stuff. And then in 2017, I got a little bit of local media coverage, social
mm.
media and stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
perfect for social media. And then in 2019, one of the local news stations did a story at Christmas time about me making my pizza art, and I did an Elf on the Shelf pizza.
Right.
And looking back on it, it's like, I've been so focused on improving the quality of my work that like sometimes now I've been doing it long enough. I look back, I'm like, geez, like I can't believe I was making stuff that looked like that back then.
Yeah.
But the story got picked up by CNN,
Ooh.
so it ran like nationally. And it was because it was Christmas time. It was like a
Yeah.
feel good story.
Mm,
Um, and then then I started getting lots of requests from other people. Like so this is like late 2019, early 2020, like right before the pandemic.
right.
So that was wild. And then like from then until now, like I've the local media here in Rhode Island is amazing. They're
Mm,
always like super welcoming to me. They'll always like have me on if I want to come on and do something. They'll have me on.
nice.
They've done stories on me and stuff here locally, which is awesome.
Mm,
Occasionally, some people from Boston will come in, and that's what you saw recently was one of the a Boston
oh,
CBS
okay.
station did a piece on my Patriots pizza because football season's starting up.
Mm,
And the screenshot that I posted on Twitter was at the end of the piece. They showed a bunch of my pizzas, and one of them was the Rumble Revolution pizza that I
yeah.
made. And so I screenshotted it at that moment.
Uh-huh.
So it kind of looks like the header image of the story is the Rumble pizza, which is which is great. And I always try to plug Rumble when I can because I
Uh,
appreciate what they do. And the community at Rumble has been amazing. All the people like yourself
mhm,
who I've met, and some of the other people you've mentioned, like Lumpy and Pudge, and people have reached out to me,
mhm,
and all the people that I was really surprised because I'm new to live streaming, right? I've only been doing it
Yeah.
for about 5 months now, and I stream once a week, so I don't stream
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
But I've been really blown away with how much fun it is having like people come back show after show in the
Mm.
chat and like
Yeah.
and building like a bit of a community on the show,
Yeah.
and getting to know people and getting to know things about them and inside jokes, and like I really wasn't expecting
Yeah.
how much fun that was actually going to be, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, no, it is. And I mean, I've only been doing the live streaming since August of last year, because back then it was Rumble. You had to have 5 followers in order to live stream. That was the stipulation. They kind of
Oh,
changed it
weird.
after that. Yeah. Well, then after a certain point, I just bought their Rumble Pro package in order to because I was
Right.
multi-streaming. I didn't want to put all my stuff on one platform and do all that sort of thing. But yeah, so it's been interesting. And again, the point of having the many people on, it didn't really pick up until like April, was when I tried to start doing like one every weekday. Because
Right.
from my perspective, I saw a lot of content creators with big numbers, big followers, and all this stuff, and they just mostly just kept within their circle. I'm like, but you have all these fans. Why wouldn't you want to at least bring one on and talk? Now, there's a understandability, right? Reliability. You don't know this other person come on, all this stuff. Look,
Right.
I'll tell you this: a few times I've already been shot into the dark and not heard a word back, so I can understand.
Oh yeah. Right.
But the point of the matter is to try and do, rather than just shut the whole process down, because it feels like you have a lot of these creators with 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million followers, and they don't even touch it at all. That's a lot of people that you can, I mean, now you can chat on chat, but once you get so many, it just scrolls by like you're winning the lottery, and not many
Right.
do.
Yeah, that's interesting because that's something where my show is still small enough where I can pretty much read the entire chat,
Mhm.
which is fun. But yeah, I can imagine that at a certain point, you really can only read the rants probably, and even then, it can be tough to keep up with those, I'm sure, for certain accounts, which
Yeah.
is a double-edged sword because it's nice to have all these viewers, but at the same time, you can't really interact with them in the same way that maybe you were when you were starting out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's tough to navigate as you grow. I don't know. I'm not anywhere close to that yet, so I have no idea.
Am I?
But I'm sure it's a thing that everyone has to navigate as they get bigger. But
Yeah.
I have noticed, I have thought about doing like other types of streams too, because like I
Mhm.
said, I only stream once a week.
Mhm.
And it is tough to grow a following with only I've done 17 videos in 5 months. So it's,
Yeah.
it's not a lot. I see other
Yeah.
people have done, have in the last year have done like 400 videos or something like that, so I've thought about that. I've thought about doing other stuff. And I think what's really cool about live streaming, and again, I'm new to this, so I'm a little hyped
Right.
up,
Right.
but I love that, like, it really does give you the opportunity to present like every side of yourself, and build a whole audience around that. So like, if for
Yeah.
me, like, I do pizza art, but like I am also really into movies. I'm also a musician, so like there's
Nice.
lots of like other things that I could potentially conceptualize doing on
Mhm.
stream that have
Mhm.
nothing to do with pizza art, and figuring out how to like is it possible to like work that into my channel? I don't know.
Yeah.
But or even doing cooking tutorials. It's just the whole
Ooh.
platform has opened up like a whole
Yeah.
new world of possibilities for me that I
Mhm.
never would have even considered or thought of doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and there's and that's great, because I think a lot of content creators get stuck. Either they get stuck to a point where, oh, I'm not getting the views, not money, or whatever, and then they're just kind of like, that's it, they're done. But
yeah, that's a
I think,
bummer.
yeah, I think the point of the matter is, though, is find your thing, right? That should be simple. Find your thing, because I started out doing, uh, just like talking about the day, like short recorded videos, because I couldn't live stream. Short recorded videos of talking about the day, maybe did like a movie review or whatever, because I think um the first one I ever did movie review was the Barbie movie. So
Oh,
that was
okay.
quite a while too. That was quite a while ago. Um and then I did live streaming stuff, and I'm just kind of just gaming. And it wasn't until I hit on, talking to somebody doing this is when I, those post notes right there above are of Rumble rants. That's been for quite some time, and I really didn't find my thing until I started talking to people, because again,
That's awesome, man.
yeah, again, like I was saying earlier, the I just didn't see other content creators using the one big resource they have, and it wasn't money; it was their following. And it's like
Right.
you imagine you have, just sticking with a small number, you have 1,000 followers, right? Well, some of them might be bots, you never know, but you have 1,000 followers. Just imagine you are able to bring one person on, right? Maybe once a week, twice a week, however you want to do it, right? Whatever fits you. You're able to bring someone on, take someone from chat, say, would you like to come on? Now you have stage fright people. You have people say, I'm anxiety ridden or whatever. You say that's all right. I understand. You don't have to show your face or whatever. But then you get the people who do come on, and they're from your following. They're from your chat. You've just given someone a window into this thing where I'm just like you. I'm just doing this thing because I enjoy the product of whatever I'm doing. And for me, yes, the majority of people I have on are creators, but I've had some people on who aren't creators.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun for them, like, I feel like one thing I've sort of realized and I find very interesting is, and this is also like my experience as a viewer, like there's lots of streams I've been watching for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed this about myself too, like, engaging in the chat, and like the streamers who really engage with the chat and like try to involve people is like, it's fun. It's more fun for us, like as viewers, if we can be a part of the show somehow. And so that's something, like, especially while it's still relatively small, I've really tried to focus on is giving people opportunities to be part of the show. Obviously me reading the chat is like a big way to do that, but also one of the other things I've done is try to find ways to give back to the viewers with, like, from their rants. So one thing I started doing was, if people reach a certain level of rants, and I keep track of all of them by user, like how much each user has given, when they reach a certain threshold, which is right now is $150, they get an entire live stream dedicated to whatever they want, and I make a pizza of something, whatever they want. So like, for instance, one of my viewers, a bunch of people like in the chat donated to him getting to that point.
Nice.
And I even, like, I lowered the threshold, so I gave in a little bit.
Yeah.
And because he really wanted to honor his dad. His dad had died of cancer a year ago, and so he wanted me to make a portrait of his dad.
Nice.
Now, if the content I try to make is stuff that is appealing to a large group of people, and doing someone's dad isn't necessarily appealing to a large audience. But like, as this person is supporting my stream, like, I'm taking this money. I just bought a brand new wireless mic, because this thing, it's tough to, when I'm working on the pizza, it's really tough I can't talk when I'm working on the pizza because I'm bent over, right? So I just got a brand new wireless mic that I can use hopefully in a couple weeks. I can use it on my stream, and these people are supporting my stream. So a few weeks back, I made a portrait of his dad on the stream, and we talked about his dad the whole time, and he was telling stories. His whole family came and watched and chatted on the stream. It was so much fun. Like, it was so cool to be able to do that. And so to, like, be able to find fun ways for to give people opportunities to engage with the show like that, to me has been it's been difficult to try to figure those things out and figure out what works. But also, like, that was like one of the most fun streams I've done. So like, so I'm excited to do more stuff like that, and like to find other ways to get people to engage, because I think that ultimately, especially if, like, what I'm doing, I'm they're watching me make a pizza, an art pizza. It doesn't lend itself to being super engaging necessarily. I think the wireless mic will help a lot with that. But it's it could be. I'm amazed that anybody will sit there for 4 hours and watch me make an entire pizza start to finish. But people are doing it, so that's amazing. I never would have thought they would do that. And one more thing you said that I thought was interesting was, you were talking about yourself and how you just started doing it, right? You just started streaming, and you've really kept at it, right? And you started having people on, and I think one thing that is helpful for me, in terms of like not worrying so much about how many people are watching is like I was doing this stuff anyway. So I
Yeah.
was making these pizzas every week anyway. So
Yeah.
like whether people watch or they don't watch, it's really it doesn't, it's all the same to me really.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop doing it because I'm making these pizzas anyway. And I think for gamers maybe it's similar because they're playing these games anyway. They might as well
Yeah.
be live streaming it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think if you like talking to people and like that's something you like to do anyway, then like it's not going to matter so much if there's a ton of people watching one time and there's not so many watching another time. Like you're just doing something you enjoy and that you would do anyway. So it doesn't matter.
It's because the thing about it is you see again you taking the experience of watching others make mistakes, whatever, in the content field, is that a majority of the time is followers, likes, all that stuff. And I kind of after a while I kind of relented to that game because it's in being seen more because of these people I have on. But other than the conversation, everything is a bonus to the whole square. Even that's a weird thing to say, but it's a bonus to the whole thing because how is it that someone like me can have over 100 different people within less than a year's time, and yet these content creators who have been on for quite some time, whether I don't know if it's they talk about pop culture or gaming or whatever, they can have all these people on, and yet it seems like they just stay within a circle of, well, while understandable, while they stay in this circle of just what they've created. And for me, it's like, do you have any idea how biased you are against the world that's of everything in this world and all that stuff? And just that when we have this thing right now, of course, elections are going on, whatever, but we have this thing of huge divisiveness. And why isn't it we aren't just having conversations? Why are we breaking across, not just having it with other content creators, but just having it with people who are willing to take the step, right? Is willing to take the step. You don't have to show your face, obviously, but willing to take the step on and just people hear your voice, they get to your perspective, your idea of things. Because the problem of the matter is that we have these tools to use to communicate across long distances, right? Because Indiana, Rhode Island, and yet we seem to go to the left of the usefulness of it, right? We seem to take the tool into the other direction rather than just, because again, I don't know if you saw or not during when sometime after Elon bought Twitter X, but once they had added the monetization to Twitter X, you saw bait post, you saw questions.
Oh yeah, entirely, engagement farming and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
engagement farm.
Yeah, yeah, that was interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. To be honest, I think it's great that they added monetization. I think maybe they didn't anticipate how the way they were doing it would affect the experience of people using the platform. It does seem like I feel like I've seen less of it in the last few months. So I don't know if maybe they're cracking down on it or what they've done to it, but that's definitely not a fun thing to deal with. Yeah, it's like you get this person asking the same question every month. I saw a really funny. It was a really funny one. Somebody ratioed somebody the other day because it was like synesthetic. It was like the account synesthetic or something like that, and it was like, who's your celebrity crush or something, and they're like, I'll go first, and it was like Sydney Sweeney. And then somebody posted, it was like literally a month ago, it was the same question, and they were like, I'll start, and it was like Natalie Portman or something. And it was like, wow, that was quick. Like that was quick. You moved on pretty quickly from Natalie Portman to Sydney Sweeney, and it's like, what are you gonna do, But I don't know. That stuff just seems boring to me. I think I like the community note stuff they've done. That's been mind blowing. I saw there was a video recently that I totally would have thought was real. It was a couple of people that were supposedly on ayahuasca. I don't know if you saw this, but it was everywhere. And they were like puking and all this stuff. And it was all these posts about how ayahuasca is like really messing with people's lives and stuff. And maybe it is, but the video itself was like people who were given poison from a poison dart frog or something. Like wasn't ayahuasca at all. And like I would have had no reason to doubt that that's what it was. And like even something like that was like community noted, and it's like, wow, that function has worked really well. And it's worked really well. And I think YouTube now is trying to mimic it because it works so well.
I wouldn't try to trust YouTube with much anyway. That's
No.
just Google down right back. But no, but it is a tool that they created, but it also can be used for just as much amount of bad as it is for good. There is again, any tool we humans create have a
Yeah,
duality to it. It's not
that's true. Yep.
it's not that the tool itself has a duality, it's us that has a duality, and it's just an extension of us
Of course.
extending out that duality. And so community notes does have that. But
You can use editing techniques to make someone say something they didn't say, or
oh yeah.
you can use it to create a fantastic Mrs. Doubtfire music video. So
That
it can be used in multiple different ways. Some
that's
great, some so fantastic you can't even really describe it. In other ways, very destructive. So
yeah, and thankful for that. But my point of earlier was about the money factor of you had said that you would be doing this anyway because you love what you do. But a
yeah,
lot of these creators, they make a business out of it, they make a living out of it.
yeah,
And for me, you get a lot of these creators who like I need the donations, so they'll do things to get those donations. The whole Twitch thought sort of thing. Not saying they are.
yeah, right.
I'm trying to give an example of what I see.
Well,
And
don't
for
you think
me,
that's kind of a turn off though? Like as a viewer, doesn't that kind of turn you off? Like, aren't you kind of like, nah, it's kind of cringy, and you don't really want to watch anymore?
if they beg for it, yes. And some
Yeah,
don't
right.
beg for it, but they do make a business off it. And so it comes in the question of when you come into this to make a business off it, are you doing it because it's of the content you created beforehand and now you're just upgrading so you can do
Yep.
more? Or has that dynamic changed where it's no longer about the content, but it's about I got to support my business because money. And it's not all people doing business either. You have people independent or whatever, but money does change things. And for me, I've always
Of
tried to
course.
keep.
Yep.
I've always been grateful, grateful for any monetary faction or whatever. But I've always tried to keep that a distance because I do this because of this, not because
Right.
of everything surrounding it.
Yeah,
And
I think some of the best advice I've heard was from Gary from Nerderotic, and
mm.
he said this on one of his streams. It wasn't like it's not advice he gave to me personally or anything, but he
That would have
said
been
it.
nice.
He said, and he said it a few times because people have asked in super chats and stuff.
Yeah.
Like a frog. It was basically like he started doing this just because he missed talking about comics and stuff with
Yeah.
people at his comic shop.
Mhm.
And obviously it's a full-fledged, like a huge business for him now, but it wasn't that way for a long time. And
Mm.
I think that like if and I've seen this in the crypto space, in the NFT space too, where
Oh,
people quit their jobs,
yeah.
people to do something that was incredibly risky,
Mhm.
and put all their eggs in that basket. And when it didn't turn out, or it stopped working for them, they got really desperate and started doing desperate things and started
Mhm.
and just imploded. Whereas
Yeah.
I think if like any side business, like if you're really young and you're starting out and like this is what you want to do, maybe that's different. But like for someone like me, I'm just turned 40. I have a job, I have a family business. Thank you. It was quite an achievement. But like I have a family business, I have a job, I have a family, all this
Yeah.
stuff. So like right now, like this is like a fun thing I'm doing. I'm putting most of the money I make back into the stream in terms of
Yeah.
improving the quality and all that stuff. But if it ever got to a point where I started making some serious money with it, then slowly over time you start to think, okay, well, there's a point you reach, I think, where you maybe have to make a decision. You're like, am I
Yeah.
going to stay where I'm at and keep
Mhm.
this sort of a side thing, and this is probably as good as I'm going to get,
Yeah.
or do I want to focus on this full time and cast aside what I've been doing for my full
Mhm.
time employment or whatever to survive,
Right.
and put in, and I think there's a point people reach where they have to make that decision. I don't know
Yeah.
what point that is. I'm sure it's way beyond anything I could possibly imagine. But I think oh, OnlyFans, yeah. Yeah, I mean, to me, something like OnlyFans seems like it makes so much sense as like a side thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like to do that as a full time. Again, I think even for something like that, you get to a point where look, if say you're making $70,000 a year at your job
uh,
or 80,000 a year at your job, right?
yeah,
And all of a sudden you turn around, you look around and you're making 10,000, 12,000 a month doing streaming or OnlyFans or whatever it is.
mhm,
At a certain point you're going to start thinking, well, I'm making a little bit. I'm actually making more with this than I am with my job. Could
yeah,
I make even more? So I think the trouble people get into is when they make that jump way too early,
yeah, yep,
when they're not making anything close to what they need to be making to rely on this for their to sustain themselves.
yeah,
And then what happens is they get really desperate, and so they start doing desperate things in order to make money, because and it implodes, and then it collapses in on itself.
yep,
So I think, for me, I cannot even envision ever being at a point where, like, I'm not, like, working with my family business. I'm not
yeah,
getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going and making pizzas and pepperoni pizzas and chicken wings and
ooh,
calzones and all that stuff. I can't
nice,
imagine ever not do it. Doesn't even, I can't even, I'd have to be making so much money doing this to be able
yeah,
to, like, cast that aside. So I don't think I can't imagine ever being in that headspace where, like, I'm going
mhm,
to be doing anything just because I think I'm going to get money out of it. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm kind of lucky in that sense. I've got, like, a pretty good thing that I'm happy, that I love, that I'm happy with, that isn't streaming. But I've seen it happen, like you said. It's man, it's tough to watch when it happens. It's heartbreaking in a
right,
way, but also just like, ugh.
yeah. No, it's I. So the reason of so to explain earlier of the rant stuff. So the reason why I did that as well is because one, someone told me I need a little color on my wall, and so I saw another content creator called Side Scroller Podcast where he would, if someone
Oh
got
yeah, side scrollers. I like side
well,
scrollers.
he's got a membership or donated some what is it, gifted subs or whatever. He put it on a post-it note and put it on the wall. And so I was like, oh, I'll take a bit of that idea. And so I've just been doing, like, whatever amount someone gives, I write their name on it and put it up there because, again, it was just a thoughtful way of showing stuff back because it just, and it also was an excuse to put color in the wall. So
I like it.
you don't look as crazy if you say, oh well, this is Rumble rants people have given to me, instead of just saying I just like different colored post-it notes.
It's more interesting than what I've got going on back here.
That's
It's
beige. That's like
nothing.
a beige look, very business
I'm
look.
a I'm a Quaker, and
Oh really?
this is the most Quaker
Mm.
background I could think of. It's just nothing, just
Yeah,
completely blank. So it
yeah,
works. It kind of works for me. But I
yeah.
like your multicolored wall. I think it looks nice.
I try my hardest. Sometimes people, they just like to drop. But going back to your thing about the but if you made enough money, I've always said that if I got to a point where it was enough, I'd still take a part-time job because nothing is infallible, right? There's
Yes.
always, it's they hear the stories of everything, something in threes or whatever, or gets hit in threes. And I just I just can't trust to rely on one thing. And I've seen too many content creators when they go into rely on this full time, they're like, oh man, I got to reach this out, pay off my mortgage and all this stuff. I'm like, why would you drop your job and full on this? Because basically
Yeah.
all this,
It's crazy.
well, you were doing pizza, right? So imagine you're a delivery driver and you work on tips. This is basically what that is. This is all
Yeah.
just tips. And that's
The only difference is actually the only difference with that is, like, you can pretty much you can feel pretty confident that, like, people are always going to want pizza. Like, they're always going to want Chinese food. They're always going to need to order food. People always need to eat. That's what's so great. Like our business has been super, like, recession proof, COVID
yeah,
proof. Like,
oh
people
yeah,
need to eat. People
yeah,
don't really need to watch live streams. Like,
yeah.
people need entertainment on a certain level,
Mhm.
absolutely. But at the end of the day, they don't really need to watch live stream. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So to me, it's like, yeah, I think and you've got to be at so established and at a level where um it's almost like even if your live stream started suffering, like you've reached a certain level of notoriety where like you could parlay that into something else. You could get hired by a major network to do something, you know, like if let's say you do a sports live stream and it becomes really popular. You know, it gets up to say 100,000 subs, 200,000 subs, maybe even more, and you're doing it consistently, and then it's kind of just like lagging, or it's not getting, it starts dropping off a little bit. You know, you've earned enough of a reputation where like you could probably go to someplace like Barstool Sports or someplace and like and get an actual like paid job working for someone else as opposed to yourself. Like, so, you know, it is a little less risky, I think, at that point. But again, that's so many people think they're at that point, I think, and they're so not. They're so not. So I would anyone listening, like if you're, you know, I would just say keep that, whatever that job is, that even if you hate it, if it's paying the bills, hang on to that as long as you possibly can. Because you know, being able to pay the bills is nice.
Yeah.
So
my job, I have a full-time job. I don't really enjoy it. I enjoy doing this more, but my bills get paid. The time management works well, that I can work in the morning and then I have this late in the evening. So you know, I don't enjoy it as much, but hey, you know what? I enjoy doing this more, and this is more of the benefit of doing all this. And J.Delete says, I don't know if I can survive without hot dogs.
I love that. I love J-Dub's great. What's up, J-Dub? Congrats on your 500 followers, man. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and the funny thing is, he so I do another show. It's called Dara's Hangout Time. It's mostly just for guests who come on. This is another way of people make fun of me for saying it, but cross-pollinating other guests that have been on to try to get, you know, all that stuff.
Sounds like a reasonable way to describe it. That's fine.
Yeah. That's fine. People make money for it, but whatever. But there's also another one I'm doing. It's called Rumble Squared, and it's going to be talking on the basis of, you know, because a lot of people who want Rumble to succeed and all that, and it'll be a for people who've been on the guest, haven't been on the guest, but use Rumble. And of course, people are interested because we all want Rumble to be the best of the best. Right now, they're competing with YouTube and Twitch, and they're not even close enough yet. And so we want to be able to talk about the good, talk about the bad, and everything in between, and all that stuff. So J.Delete actually was the one who created that name. So
very cool.
So J.Delete gave me the name of Rumble Squared, because we were trying to come up with different names, and then all of us is Rumble Squared, and it's not like saying Rumble Squared, it's more like Rumble to the power of 2 sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so J.Delete. But yeah, no, congrats to that. And the funny thing is, one time I was streaming and someone was telling me that I was almost to 400. I was like, wait, what? And I looked and was like, oh, I am almost to 400, because I'm really not trying to pay attention to that stuff. Yep. And Abe said, that's what I did until my investment started providing dividends. There you go. All the hot tub stuff.
You know, yeah, I mean, and that's, you know, then that's everyone's situation is you know, is different. So
yeah.
I love that. Again, I love that the chat aspect of doing this is so fun. Like I could just like, there's times where I caught myself where I'm doing my stream and like for like 10 minutes straight, I haven't added one olive or one pepper. I'm just talking to people, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta refocus here because I gotta finish this thing before it gets to be like way too late at night for me, you know. So
definitely.
It's so fun. But you guys rule. Abe and Blip and Blop, I see you guys.
Yeah. So do you like put in your menus or whatever that if they order one of those special pizzas that they are waiting a specific time, that it'll take them a lot longer than just say a regular pizza to get to them? Because I mean, they are pretty big, they're pretty painful.
Yeah. So so I used to, my website right now it sucks. My website, that's like, it sucks. It was kind of functional. I tried to like redo it. It sucks. I used to have like all the pizzas that I ever made posted there with prices and stuff. And then like pricing got so crazy because of inflation and because of my time constraints and because especially after COVID, like we lost so many workers and like I had to be doing so I basically the way it works is like someone contacts me on my social media and asks me if I can do something for them, make them a pizza. I give them a quote. And I give them the parameters. So basically, it has to be picked up between a certain time. It's no deliveries. They are big. They feed they're full sheet pans, which basically is like 2 large pizzas. So they can actually feed between like 16 and 24 people, depending on how much like other foods you've got at your party or whatever you're doing. And so there's a lot of parameters that people have to fit into, but and I don't do as many of them as I used to, because they're more expensive than they used to be, and also like the time constraints are just tough for some people. Some people want them at 12 noon on a Saturday, and I just can't do that. So so I try to work with people where I can, but sometimes it doesn't work out. And so most of the pizza art I do now, the vast majority of the pizza art I do is on the live stream. So which is awesome, which is really cool.
Yeah, because I'd imagine the complaints are like, look, it's taking too long. All right, I paid like $300. I'd like my pizza now.
Oh, well, they order it. So it's not like they don't come in and say, it's not like they come in and say, can I have a Hulk Hogan pizza? And I'm like, okay, it'll be 2 hours. Sit here and wait. I give them a pickup time. So they call and order it, and then I start making it like with more than enough time. And then so let's say, like, for instance, let's say someone orders a Hulk Hogan pizza. I say, okay, you have to pick it up between 4 and 5. They say, okay, I'll pick it up at 4. I'll start making it at say 12. So I know, like, worst case scenario, if it takes me 4 hours to make it, which I feel like it won't, I'll be done in time. But let's say realistically, it'll take me 2 hours or 2.5 hours. Then it goes in the fridge for like an hour, and then it comes out, and I finish baking it like right before they come and pick it up. So it's no one ever has to wait for anything. They just show up and it's ready. So it's a good system.
Because I mean, when I saw those pizzas, I was like, man, that's pretty big. But to know that they do 2 full sizes, like, forget Domino's. But
you're not gonna get my stuff at Domino's, that's for sure. But I do love Domino's.
So do I. I try not to eat it too much because health stuff. But have you ever seen those world record pizzas, like those huge honking pizzas that they made for the?
Oh yeah, those are awesome. This is actually a cool little factoid. I am the self-anointed creator of the largest work of pizza art in the world. Nice. I didn't go through Guinness Book of World Records because if you do that, they own your content.
Curses.
So I didn't do that. I didn't want them to own the content because I sold it as an NFT, actually.
Yeah.
It's an amazing filmmaker from Seattle named Marcus Ritchie actually came out and filmed me doing it and put together like a short documentary. It's actually on YouTube. It's called The Art of Pizza. And I took 8 full sheet pans put together and made a giant lion pizza. So there you go. So I am a self-anointed world record holder.
Thank you, anointed one. We appreciate it. That's pretty awesome because there's the big square ones I've seen, but that's mostly made of. I think it's like their thing where they make this huge square one. I can't remember what city that's in. And then
sometimes they have to cook them outside because they're so big. Cook them over a giant open flame or something. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and it feeds like the whole town. Yeah.
All right, everyone, come over. Food, even the poor people, come on. But I didn't know that about the Guinness Book World Record because I thought they just come take the whatever it is and then
if you're doing something like walking the most steps in a circle, there's no real content for them to own, but they reserve the rights to like if there's video of it or anything I remember reading all the terms and I was like I was like, oh shit, I don't want to do that. So, and I don't care. Like if someone else wants to show me a bigger work of pizza art, I'll back down. So until then, it's mine. So until then,
stay away from it.
Good luck. Yeah. That's all I can say. It took me 8 hours to make that one. So good luck.
Oh my goodness. That
was a full day's work.
It was a full day's work. Dear Lord, it was lighter than probably lifting hay, but dear Lord, that sounds like a hey, Squishy, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's been but yeah, it's I'll get that. But yeah, it's just when I see those Guinness Book World Records, the food wise, like there's a restaurant that made like this huge monster burger. Cause you know the TV show, what was it? Man versus Food, right? He'd go
Oh
like,
yeah,
there's one place he went to and he had a bunch of people eating like the biggest burger they made. And like, are you kidding me?
crazy.
Are you kidding? That's insane. But they went to a thing anyway. I'm just like, that's insanity. And there's like the biggest chocolate chip cookie in the world. I was like, can you guys please stop? I'm already too hungry as it is.
every chocolate chip cookie that I see looks like the biggest chocolate chip cookie in the world to me. That's all. Because I try not to eat that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So every time I see one, it looks like it's, a football field large to me. It looks so good. I have to resist. I have to resist the urge.
Oh goodness.
To stay in shape.
Oh yeah, I've had to give up some. Part of my health issue. Part of the reason is because I have high cholesterol. So that's the issue why I've tried to better on my eating habits. But it doesn't really help much when you're sort of like you want to eat and then there's like thing called fast food. So there is that too. And then
it is convenient.
Yeah. They don't call it fast for nothing.
No.
Well, that is unless you have to wait in the drive-thru. If you have to wait in the drive-thru,
I'll tell you though, man. One thing about fast food that used to be nice was that it was cheap, and it's not so cheap anymore.
Ooh.
I went to, I went to Burger King, like kids, my wife, like late night. We gotta get something to eat, and it was like almost $40 for the four of us to get Burger King. Yeah. So it's not like it's you're not saving a ton of money anymore by eating fast food. So it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, and Squishy says it's
and not. It's not near as fast anymore. And they always screw up your order. Am I right, Squishy? It's always something wrong. It's Dunkin' Donuts or it's McDonald's. Doesn't matter. There's always something wrong. And people screw up. It happens to us too. But like when you go like time after time, and it's like, oh, there's always something. It's just like, what the hell, man?
The Chick-fil-A is the only place that's only messed up once. It's only messed up once, and they gave me an extra shake out of it because I had ordered a chocolate shake, but for some odd reason it was 2 instead of just 1 because I only ordered 1.
I've never had Chick-fil-A.
Oh, really? What?
Never.
Not
Isn't that
even
crazy?
I know, right? That's insane.
There's not a ton of them around here. There are some, but no. The thing that I got addicted to, that I loved, and I still love if I get a chance to have it, is Chipotle. When I was in college, this is going back to 2003, 2004.
I was
like 20 years ago. Okay, 20 years ago, which is crazy for me to think about. But yeah, 20 years ago in Colorado Springs, which is where I went to college, the second Chipotle ever made or that ever existed was in Colorado Springs, and it was so popular because it was cheap, fast, and it was good. It was like good quality food. This is actually before McDonald's bought it out, so it was still just like an independent chain. There were only 2 of them. There was one in Denver and there was one in Colorado Springs, and then McDonald's bought them out and they started popping up everywhere. But it's pretty much the same. I have to say, it's pretty much the same as when I was going there 20 years ago. It seems like they haven't changed much. So it's I was eating that every day.
Oh, I've only been there a few times, but it's so expensive to go there. It's so expensive.
It wasn't. See, it didn't used to be like that. It was for a college kid. It was affordable back then. You'd get for like $8, you would get a giant burrito with guacamole and chips and a drink, and a bottomless drink for $8.
Oh my goodness! I remember Cece's Pizza when it was around. Oh my goodness, that was like the place to just dive bar at.
That's good. This is good memories for me. That kind of stuff, Yeah.
I remember. You remember that they some people were showing the internet like what Pizza Hut used to be. I was like, I remember that too. I remember when Pizza Hut used to have us sitting in.
We still have one. We still have one in my town, on sort of the main drag. The building is still there. It's something else, but the shape of that shape of the building, the hut building, the whole thing is still there.
Yeah,
it's still there.
I wanted to share this. Abe stays in shape through a strict regimen of vodka and pizza.
That'll do it. If that's all you're eating and you're smoking up 2 packs of cigarettes a day, I bet you're pretty skinny.
Yeah. But it almost sounds Russian. I drink vodka and have pizza, and we're all good for day.
And wear sweatpants all day long.
And play with bear.
It reminds me of that the Louis C.K. bit about sweatpants. It's called Sweatpants and Vodka. So
Right.
like he goes into like a Walmart or a store or something, and it's like right at the front, it's just like sweatpants and vodka. It's like when you first walk in, it's like, isn't that like a whole lifestyle? It's just sweatpants and vodka. That's so funny.
Walmart has made that sort of thing. You go into
Yeah,
Walmart, and if you go in, they don't stay open 24 hours anymore. But you go into Walmart, you're walking into the
it's a world.
yeah, it's a world and stuff. Yeah, those ancient times. You're right.
The
Those
only
ancient,
time I ever go to Walmart is literally is for birthday cakes for my kids.
yeah,
We get our birthday cakes there, and they're great. But
yeah,
like that's the only time I ever go to Walmart, and it's like walking into an entirely just a whole universe. It's a Walmart universe, and I'm just passing through, just
yeah.
passing through.
I'd rather have ice cream cake, to be honest, because that's a little.
Oh yes, I totally agree. Yeah,
Ugh. Like
yeah.
this Dairy Queen blizzard cake. Oh,
Oh, dude, I had a for my 30th birthday, and
uh,
this is how much I love ice cream cake because I remember this specifically. My wife got me a Ben and Jerry's cookie and cream fudge something ice cream cake. Cookie
ooh,
dough, cookies and cream something ice cream cake, and it
mm.
was so fucking good. Oh my god. It was so good I still remember it. It was 10 years ago.
Oh, it's on
Why
my
would
lips.
you want regular cake when you could have an ice cream cake? That's what
Oh,
I
hell
always say.
yes, hell yes. Why
You're
would
gonna have
you?
ice cream with your cake anyway. You might as well
Yeah,
just
might
have
as
the whole cake be ice cream. And this is what I say in that the when the Boston TV crew came down recently to do the story on the Patriots pizza.
right.
I said that he asked me, he's like, do people order a lot of these, etc. And I was like, he's like, what do people call them? And I said, a lot of people call them pizza cakes.
Mm,
They're like, can I get one of those pizza cakes? Because it kind of is shaped like a sheet cake,
yeah,
and it's got a design on it, kind of like a cake. So I
yeah.
said, my dream is to have the sheet pizza
Mm.
art replace the birthday cake entirely in the state of Rhode Island, so that people are only ordering pizzas for their kids' birthday parties. You put the candles in the pizza and blow out the candles. Forget the cake entirely. Just get some cookies, get some cupcakes or something for dessert, and have the main thing be the pizza with the candles in it. That's like so much more fun for everybody.
Brain
And
blast.
you can do the happy birthday before you eat instead
Mm.
of everyone's when you go to a birthday party. How old are you?
I'm 4 years younger than you.
4. Okay,
36.
4. Oh, okay. So you're old enough to know when you're at a birthday party, like a kid's birthday party, your nephew or something or whatever.
Yeah.
A kid's birthday party. People are always like, "Are they gonna do the cake yet? Are they gonna do the cake yet? Like, we
Oh
kind of gotta get
goodness.
out of here, but we gotta wait for the cake. We gotta, we
Yeah.
can't leave before the cake solves all those problems because now you're doing the cake way earlier in the evening.
Oh yeah.
This is a no. This is like Larry David level problem solving. I feel like I've touched into here where
Yeah.
culturally the birthday cake needs to go away and birthday pizzas need to take its place.
I wait to see when you make that because I think that will be a big money maker for you. But anyway, we are getting cut short of time because he
Yes.
has to leave at 5 p.m. So anyway, before we do, we'll do a promotion and then we'll close out because I had one more thing, but you don't have enough time for that. But anyway, go ahead. So your links are down below, but go ahead and kind of sell yourself a bit, but not like that.
Sure. So yeah, Eric John, the pizza artist. I have a live stream that I do on Rumble only. Now I don't do it anywhere else, just on Rumble Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Pretty much every Sunday. I'm usually pretty good about letting people know if I'm not going to be streaming the following week. But I will be streaming this Sunday, and I will break some news here. I'm going to be celebrating the birthday of the great Andrew Dice Clay
Oh,
this Sunday night on Awesome Sauce. I'll be making a Andrew Dice Clay pizza.
mhm.
So which will be really fun. I'm a big Dice fan. So that'll be a lot of fun. And I'm debuting a brand new segment. It's called Awesome Heroes, where I'm going to
Nice.
profile. So as you can see here, wrong side. As you can see here, I was a volunteer firefighter for about 4 years, from 2009
Wow.
to 2013. And it's one of the best times in my life. I think about it all the time. I miss it dearly. And so I've always been thinking about a way to give back to that world that was so good to me and that I love so much. So I'm going to be honoring and paying tribute to a firefighter who
Nice.
has recently died in the line of duty.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be raising money trying to raise money for in this particular case, the one I'm doing on Sunday,
Right.
for his local firehouse. And so people can tune in to see that. And I think I'm gonna clip that segment from the live stream and also upload it as a separate video, with donation information to the firehouse and all that stuff. Because one thing I've loved doing, and I've done with all of my pizza art and NFTs, and now with the live stream, is I always, when I can, I try to find a way to give to charity or give to causes that I care about. So I'm excited about that. I've been working hard on that all week. So other than that, you can find me on X, Instagram, just Eric John Pizza Art. You'll find me. And I hope to see you there, and follow me on Rumble, please. I'm having a blast here. I'm loving it so much.
He's a desperate man. Give him some follows. Give him some follows.
And thanks for having me on. This has really been a lot of fun. I love doing this kind of stuff, and it's been good getting to know you too. So
and again, you're it's not a one-time deal. You're always welcome to come back. Of course,
thank you
as well.
Awesome.
But yes, quickly mine, and we'll get out of here. If you're on YouTube or Rumble or YouTube, if you wouldn't mind sharing, following, or leaving a comment, one of it or all of it doesn't matter, because any engagement helps me to be seen more, which helps have more people on, like Pizza John. Whatever, Pizza Eric John.
Pizza John is fine.
Pizza John.
That works.
Pizza John.
It works.
Pizza John, UB Legend, Phoenix Electra, so many other people, because it's been an awesome time having these people on. And of course, if you want to see where else I'm at, my link is down below. Again, guys, thank you so much. I know it was a short period of time, but I do try to respect my guests this time, because the man is a busy man. He's got kids. All right, he's got kids. He's got to go.
I got one downstairs right now waiting for me.
All right.
It's all good. But I appreciate it. Thank you. This has been fun.
Oh, you're welcome. And you're always welcome back. But anyway, guys, as always, we end with One Day With You by Pogo. And of course, you can find this stuff on YouTube if you want to see it. See you all tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Pay It Forward stream. Have a great day, guys. And I'll see you next time. Bye.